My name is Jade. I'm going to be your tour guide for the next 25 minutes. I want to make sure the volume's good. Raise your hand if you can hear me. I hope so. This is as loud as we can go. Now, does anyone want me to be quieter? No, we're good? Alright. Well, with that, we do have some rules then. Look on both sides of the tray. I'm going to see some doors. Give those a nice wiggle for me. Then look up at the ceiling. You're going to see some yellow strips. Those are for medical emergencies and medical emergencies only. Tap on those to get my attention. I'll come back and help you out. My friends in the front, are you still looking for them? You don't have any. Good luck. No, I'm just kidding. Just wave to get my attention or tap on this glass here. I'll come back and help you out as well. Now, if we drop anything overboard, that is not a medical emergency. But keep track of where you dropped it. Let me know after the tour and we'll do our best to retrieve that for you. I do have more rules, but if you look behind you on our driver's side, good news, because we're actually coming back to this area at the very end of our tour, so we will have another chance to see all these friends. Speaking of, we got some Thompson's gazelle on our driver's side as well, and then we're going to see a lot of different types of birds over on our passenger side. So the ones that are closest to us with the yellow feathers on the top of their head, those are East African crowned crane. They're one of my personal favorites when it comes to birds. And speaking of, we're going to head over this hill. And as we do, I want to take a moment to say thank you for coming to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park today. By entering one of our two front doors, you're helping us in our mission to create a world where all life thrives. You're also on your way to becoming allies for wildlife, because we have conservation efforts around the globe, and we like to organize this into 8 different hubs. On this tour, we're going to go over 3 of them, but before we do that, we are in luck because over on our passenger side, if you look at their ears, you may see that they are moving around. That's because they have amazing hearing. Out of. A couple hands going up in the middle, love to see it. For everyone else, we're going to learn right now. It's actually part of the reason why they're endangered. So most endangered wildlife have to deal with habitat loss, but these guys also have to deal with poaching. There's a common misconception that that horn has special medicinal healing properties to it. It does not. It's actually made out of something that we have. It's in our fingernails and our hair. It's called keratin. But that misconception still gets right to this day. Don't worry though, you guys can help out by sharing any info with your friends, your family, or your social media that is raising awareness on an individual level. Now, before we saw those rhinos, we were talking about conservation hubs. Remember, we're going over 3. So over on our driver's side, this is our very first one. It's our African savanna, and it's where we're going to spend the majority of our time throughout the rest of this tour. We also have our African forest, both show we're all connected and can coexist. And then lastly, we'll see our Southwest hub. That one's a little bit more local. It focuses on our California-Mexico region, showing that conservation can even start in our own backyards. 1, their coloration, the black and white that they have, and 2, the fact that they're in a big group. Fingers crossed we get to talk more about that later on. For now, we have some pelicans right next to us, as well as some of our vultures, and even some of those East African crowned crane I mentioned earlier. And then kind of towards the back, we have some friends that are new to us as of like 3 weeks ago. They're called addax. They have this beautiful curvature in their horns, and they are known for water retention, meaning that the majority of the water that they get throughout their entire lives is found in what they eat. Pretty interesting. Now we're going to start to shift over to our driver's side into our African savanna. You're going to see some friends at the top of the hill. We're actually making a huge loop, so we're going to get a closer look in just a couple minutes. But because of that, we're going to focus on who's closer by. Like right next to us in the middle of the hill here, one is standing up, the rest are laying down. Those are sable antelope. They are facing different directions if you look real closely. This is known as an alert circle. It's to ensure that no predators sneak up behind them. And underneath the tree, and one in the sun, we have our Ellipson waterbuck. They have these really shaggy and oily coats. Now as we move forward, I want you to look at all the trees in this habitat. It looks like they're cut straight across at the bottom. We have an awesome horticulture team, but that's not their work. That's the work of our friends up ahead that we're going to see in just a little bit. But underneath the trees, you will see some of our Hemsbach. They have this lighter coloration than most of the wildlife we're going to see throughout the rest of this tour. And that lets us know that they live in drier or more deserty areas. So if you're still wondering who is trimming all these trees, it's actually going to be our Maasai giraffe that are coming up here. But I do have a little surprise, hopefully a couple more along the way. But the first one is going to be that as of last month, we had a baby giraffe born. We're going to go over to this area in just a little bit, but in order to give you guys the best view, I need your help. So our goal is, so just try your best. If we're quiet enough, I'll be able to stop. If I'm able to stop, you can stand up, just do so slowly. And then I would definitely start getting your phones and your cameras ready now, because we are coming up to our Maasai giraffe. So I've been permitted to talk. I don't prefer to do it too much here. I'll just say a couple things. In this structure, we have some more Hemsbach right here hanging out in the shade. And then if you're still wondering where baby is laying down in between two of our female adults that are in the sun. That little one is already over 6 feet tall, so start thinking, how tall are the adults? We'll talk about it after. Enjoy. Great job, everyone. I'm going to whisper a little bit as we gain distance. But you see the two adults that are underneath the shade? The one that's to the right is actually Dad. His name is Gowon, and he's the tallest of the group. Remember, Maasai are some of the tallest of giraffe. So he's at about 18 feet tall, and this serves a lot of great purposes. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. We have friends on both sides of us here, so let's start with our driver's side. These are common eland, some of the largest antelope in the world. They weigh about 2,000 pounds. So with that size, they're going to want any way they can to stay cool. So if you look underneath their chins, you'll see something that kind of looks like... Now, as we make our way up this hill, I do want to give you a heads up. I cannot make any stops, but there are still going to be friends over on your driver's side. So help out your neighbor, point out what you see, and definitely have your phone or your camera ready now, just in case. In fact, definitely have your phone or your camera ready now. I'm looking ahead. You're definitely going to want it out because we have at least one of our southern white rhinos very close to us here. Now there are two in this area, so I can't see the other one. It's hard to tell which is which, but we have Arthur and Mawazi. Okay, so this is Arthur. Mawazi's towards the back there. If you didn't get a chance to see that muscle behind their ears before they're born, or the ears moving around, now's a great chance to do so. You're also going to see some friends on the other side of this hill. Remember, we're making a loop, so we're getting there in just a little bit. But I hope you guys have noticed we've been talking a lot about coloration throughout this tour. That is because African predators are red and green colorblind. So the tan and orange we're seeing on almost everyone, like these Ugandan cob right here, helps them blend into the green grasses below seamlessly. Another cute thing about these Ugandan cob is their noses are heart-shaped, if you're able to see that. Very adorable. Now, speaking of blending in, if you look over on our passenger side, you're not going to see too much. And that's the point. In African forests, the wildlife need to be good at playing hide and seek in order to evade predators like the big cats that are around them. And they really rely on the trees and the bushes to be good at their job. Now I'm going to start talking about someone that we're about to see. And again, I need your help. I told you I'm going to try to do multiple responses. Here's the next one. As of a couple of hours ago, we have a new baby to say hi to. I'm talking like 3.5 hours, maybe 4 hours ago. We had a baby wildebeest born. There are now 3. The other 2 were born about 3 weeks ago. They are all laying down. It's been a long day for them, of course. But I don't want to talk too much while we're here, so same rules apply. Let's please keep our volume to a minimum. And just note that there's a grubby zebra with them. We're going to talk about it after, okay? Alright, enjoy. Oh, sorry, real quick, I'll help out with directions. Okay, so the newest baby is actually right in front of the 2 that are laying down underneath this tree. There's one more in front of them. Okay, this is hard to describe. There's 2 babies in that group, and then 1 baby up here as well. They are very tiny. They look like rocks. They blend in super well. So, alright, enjoy. Apologies, friends, I misspoke. All 3 were down at the bottom there, but how awesome to see. Now, I love to give these wildebeest a shout out no matter what. So they actually have one of the largest migrations in the world. They'll get into groups of up to 1 million and then start roaming around, making them excellent pollinators. And did we notice that grubby zebra was with them? Well, they're an exception to that color rule that we were talking about earlier. They instead have black and white, which are like the neon colors of Africa. So why stick out like a traffic cone? Well, they use it to their advantage in a different way. It's called disorientation camouflage, where they hang out in a big group and look like one big blob that you don't want to mess with. But for everyone else, they do need the green grasses to blend in. So what happens if the grass isn't green, or those trees and bushes aren't there? Well, unfortunately, that's a reality we face now. Because of climate change, we're dealing with habitat loss worldwide. And it doesn't stop in our own homes either. In fact, I want you guys to do me a favor, look over on our passenger California coastal sage grub. These taco-shaped leaves coming towards you, that's sumac. These tiny, tiny, cute flowers, that's called buckwheat. We also just passed by some agave. All these different types of plants house a lot of native wildlife, like mule deer, burrowing owls, roadrunners, and many, many more. They do need our help. Underneath the shade, these are our springbok. Even though they're smaller, they have this really cool defense mechanism. It's called pronking. They jump up into the air as high as they can as a form of intimidation, showing off their agility and their strength as they do so. Now, if I remember correctly, I think we have some friends at the top of this hill to say hi to as well. Let's see as we round this corner. Looks like we're going to have friends on both sides of us. I want to start on our passenger side. We don't get to see them all the time. I know they look like and share their culture, so they donated these Ankole cattle, making them one of only 2 domesticated wildlife that we have throughout the entire park. Now, if you're wondering how, but on our driver's side, these are going to be our Cape Buffalo. They also have babies with them, so see how many you can spot. I'll give you a hint though, their horns are not fully grown. Now, Cape Buffalo are notorious for being some of the most protective when it comes to their families. They're one of the few wildlife that will go up against the predator if they have to, and they even have a couple of warning signs. One is staring. I see a couple of them already staring at us. Some are staring at that caravan truck as well. It's also part of the reason why we're not hanging out here too long, but I also want you to notice there are 3 teenage male Nile Edgeway to the left of them. Before the babies came along, they were getting free protection from the Cape Buffalo. Now that the babies are here, they're learning to be slightly more independent before they become full-grown adults. Now there's that jolt I was talking about. Apologies for that, friends. But we are going to make our way over to that first field habitat we saw at the beginning. And as we do, I do want to take this moment to once again thank you for coming to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. I mentioned at the beginning that you're on your way to becoming Allies for Wildlife with you. Now, can I see a raise of hands? Who wants to take conservation a step further? I see like 10 hands. Could be all of our hands. Let me rephrase it. Who wants to not just sharing any info with your friends, your family, or your social media, again, is raising awareness on an individual level. Another way is helping out your native wildlife. Can I see a raise of hands? Who lives in California? Okay, I would say at least half of us on this tour. Well, that California Coastal Sage Grove we were talking about earlier, that is our home. It's what everything's built on. It also surrounds us in these mountainsides here, right? But in the last 40-ish years, we've lost over 80% of our home. 80% of this plant biome. Not all hope is lost though. No matter where you call home, it's a very good idea to plant native plant life, whether that's in your backyard, your community, or your patio. And last but not least, we can help out our giraffe over here. We talked about there's many advantages with their height, like the fact that they can spot a predator from 1.5 miles away, making them the watchtowers of Africa. But if they're watching out for everyone else, who's watching out for them? At the moment, not many, but you guys can from your own homes. Before I describe it, just know there's also 2 southern white rhinos underneath this big palm. This is going to be the last stop before we head back to the station. So how can you guys help? Thank you. Alright, I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me for the past 25 minutes. We saw a lot of stuff, so if you have any questions, my name's Jade. I'll meet you at the front of the tram station, and I'll do my best to answer those for you. It's going to be once we depart. When I come to a complete stop, by looking over on your passenger side, you'll find a black knob. You're just going to pull that forward and out. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Have fun exploring on your way out. Thank you.
Just want to walk around a little bit more.
I'll hear this bike.
I guess we can't. I guess we can't. Jumbo Dunia, hello world. Jumbo Dunia, hello world. Yeah, yo, congratulations, Dawn and Sarah, Jen, and Owen. you have the same thing. Sidewalk again. You do.